At Vanoshi Forest Homestay, the forest does not awaken abruptly. It breathes itself into morning. A pale wash of light filters through layered foliage, illuminating drifting mist and the trembling edges of leaves. In that gradual brightening before the sun finally claims the canopy, a lively liquid whistle threads through the air, the cheerful proclamation of the common Iora. The common Iora is a small bird, yet it carries the brightness of something much larger. The breeding male appears dipped in sunlight, underparts glowing yellow, back sharply contrasted in velvety black, wings patterned with crisp white bars. When he moves through the trees, he seems like a bird and more like a flickering of living color, a bright ember dancing in green shade in softer, non breeding plumage. His colors mellow, but even then there remains a warmth that catches the eye. The female, subtler and olive toned, blends harmoniously with the foliage, a beauty quieter but no less refined. What truly animates the Iora at Vanoshi is its energy, rarely still. It hops with buoyant confidence from twig to twig, tilting its head inquisitively as it searches beneath the leaves for insects. It gleans caterpillars with swift precision, flits to another perch, then pauses just long enough to issue a bright series of whistles. These notes, rising, tumbling, and almost prayerful, seem to echo through the forest corridors like laughter carried on air. During breeding season, the male transforms into an aerial performer. From a high perch, he launches upward in a fluttering arc, wings half spread, then descends in a gentle glide back to his chosen branch. These looping displays are brief but dramatic, flashes of yellow against the deep greens of the Western Ghats. They feel less like territorial claims and more like exuberant declarations of existence, a small bird celebrating the space it inhabits. Often the Iora joins mixed hunting parties that ripple through the mid canopy. Drongos dart ahead, warblers weave through the undergrowth, and amidst them, the Iora contributes its restless energy. It moves with purpose, stirring leaves, probing crevices, keeping pace with the shifting flock. In these moments, the forest feels interconnected, each species playing a role in its quiet choreography of survival. Yet, for all its activity, there is grace in the Iora's presence. It favors the forest's edges and fruiting trees near the homestay where sunlight filters generously. They're perched against the glow of early morning. The male seems almost luminous, as if carrying a fragment of dawn in his feathers. The contrast of yellow against shadowed green becomes a visual hymn to the richness of Vanoshi's woodland. Unlike the shy or elusive residents of deeper forest layers, the common Iora is approachable, generous with sightings, and often among the first birds to greet the day. And therein lies its quiet lesson. Not every treasure in the forest hides behind difficulty. Some beauty arrives with clarity and song, asking only attention and patience. At Vanoshi, the common Iora becomes more than a species on a checklist. It becomes a pulse of color, a ribbon of sound, a bright thread woven into the living fabric of the forest. A reminder that even the smallest bird can hold the radiance of morning within its wings.
The black-rumped Flameback in morning light tapped ribbons on bark with delight. With a scarlet top crown and a gold feather gown, it hammered from dawn until night. On tea trees it clung with strong toes, where the hidden wood boring grub grows. With a rat-a-tat sound echoing round through forest west, warm sunlight glows. Its black rump flashed bold as it flew across clearings washed fresh with dew. With a call sharp and still that rang over hill like a trumpet the jungle once knew. At Vanoshi Forest Homestay, it drums high under wide Western Ghats sky. A carpenter bright in red, gold, and white, where forest and flame never die.
The Oriental Magpie sang at the break of day on a tree stump not far from the way, with a whistle so clear that rang bright to the ear, chasing dawn's early shadows away. In black coat and waistcoat of white, it shimmered in soft morning light, with a flick of its tail and a confident trail through gardens and clearings in flight. From low branch it poured out its tune, a melody lilting and croon, each phrase sharp and sweet in rhythmic repeat like a forest remembering June. At Vanoshi Forest Homestay it rains, where sunlight through tall canopy reigns. A minstrel so bold in livery of old that brightens the woods and the plains.
In green triangle deep at Vanoshi Forest Homestay, a whisper of wings held its sway. The little Spiderhunter slim, with a nectar-filled whim, slipped quietly through the leaf-filtered day. With a bill curved and slender and long, it probed where the wild blooms belong. In shadows it felt where the few dared to tread, soft treading the forest with song. No jewel tone flashed to betray, just olive and brown in display. It hid from the light in foliage tight, preferring the high hush overplay. If patience could carry and stand, still-hearted in forested land, you may glimpse in the green where it moves half unseen, a nectar seeker, subtle and grand.
In the shaded undergrowth of India's forest, where leaf litter lies thick and light filters down in fractured beams, the puff throated babbler moves quietly, almost invisibly. It is not a bird of dramatic colors or lofty perches. Instead, it belongs to the forest floor, a soft brown presence among fallen leaves and tangled roots. The puff throated babbler is often heard before it is seen. Its call, a clear and slightly mournful whistle, drifts through the understory like a cautious announcement. When it does reveal itself, it does so briefly, hopping with quick, deliberate steps, tail slightly cocked, head alert. Its pale throat gently puffed and contrasting against warmer brown upper parts gives the bird its name and subtle charm. Unlike canopy dwellers that bask in open sunlight, the babbler prefers secrecy. It forages methodically, turning over dry leaves in search of insects and small invertebrates. Every movement is purposeful, every pause measured. In these quiet actions, it reflects the patient rhythm of the forest itself. To observe the puff-throated babbler is to learn stillness. It rewards those who wait without expectation, who listen carefully and allow their eyes to adjust to shadows.
These are birds that astonish with rarity, and there are birds that enchant through familiarity. The red-whiskered bulbul belongs to the latter, a species so commonly encountered across gardens, forest edges, and village groves that it risks being overlooked. Yet, when truly observed, it reveals a personality and elegance that makes it one of the most endearing presents in the Indian landscape. At first glance, the red-whiskered bulbul is sturdy in tasteful contrast. Its plumage is clean and balanced. Warm brown upper parts, pale underparts, a long dark tail edged delicately in white. The head is striking, a pointed black crest, rising neatly above the bright white cheeks and just below the eye, a vivid crimson patch. The whisker that gives the bird its name, beneath the tail, another flash of red glows like a hidden ember. These touches of color are not extravagant, they are precise, as though placed by design to catch light at the right moment. The bulbul's beauty, however, lies not only in appearance but in behavior. It moves with buoyant confidence, hopping lightly between branches, pausing upright with an alert, almost curious expression. There is a sociable quality to its presence. Rarely solitary for long, it often appears in pairs or in small family groups communicating with soft chirps and conversational notes. During breeding season, this bond deepens and the pair can be seen tending carefully to a neat cup-shaped nest hidden among leaves. Its song is one of the most delightful attributes, a lively series of whistles, trills, and bubbling phrases that rise and fall with cheerful clarity. Unlike the long, complex melodies of some songbirds, the bulbul's note feels spontaneous and expressive, like a bright conversation carried on the breeze. In the quiet of early morning, its voice rings through gardens and forest margins, weaving sound into sunlight. Adaptability has allowed the red-whiskered bulbul to thrive across varied habitats. It flourishes not only in wooded landscapes but also in cultivated fields, urban parks, and residential areas. It feeds on fruits, berries, nectar, and insects, moving fluidly between flowers, flowering shrubs, and fruiting trees.
The white-cheeked barbet called loud and clear. With a cutroo, cutroo we could hear. From a fig tree so tall it repeated its call like a clock tower that rang year after year. With green coat that matched every leaf and a white cheek in bold relief. It hammered at wood as a barbet should, with industrious, tireless belief. Round-bodied and sturdy of bill, it worked with remarkable skill. In hollow it stayed where its nesting was made, high above valley and hill. Through forests where sunlight is spread, its rhythmic refrain widely led. That barbet so bright in green cloaked delight kept time where the wild trees far fed. Adios, my birding friends. See you all next in episode 4 Vanoshi Sindhu Durg.